Hello everyone and welcome to my SketchUp videos. This is my house tutorial video, I think 10. Today I'd like to just show you how I do garages. It's not much really into a garage. It's really, as you can see, is just a big room. Last time we did the doors, but today I do garage. So let's get started. So as you may know, usually for the first thing I do window and door frames. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll make the frame around this. And you don't have, I don't do, just do this for looks in the model. Because that's where the garage door is going to go. And as you can see, as for the wall here, we're going to make it look like door is actually in, the door doesn't stick out of the bricks kind of way. The brick has a recess. I'll show you, you'll see it more clearly whenever I get this in. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to indent. Just thinking for a minute. Just have to use judgment. I was just using and that's sometimes trial and error. So it looks like I got a frame inside in the wall actually, because when you have a brick house, usually windows and doors are recessed a little bit, and that's what I was doing. And this is just my typical wood frame or whatever material frame you want to use. 6.5. We'll go in a little more. Perfect. Now that varies. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a garage door. Just the door. I don't make the runners or anything. I don't make the tracks that the door rides. I don't make the motor either. Just the door. And then I make this a four-fold garage door, so just divide it into 4 sections. And let's give it a little bit of depth. First color it what it should be. Not much depth, just a little bit. I just do 1 inch for looks, really. But also, if you think about it, 1 inch sounds about right. I mean, that's just metal and whatnot. Let's see, we'll make the paneling, because obviously doors have paneling. We'll divide it into 4s. This is a pretty legit door. But I mean, if you want to, I mean, you can make runners, and the tracks and the motors. But I don't do that. I mean, and it's just a model, so I don't do that. But this, see, and it's very similar of how I make regular doors. And you see, and then I just use this intersect with model. So it's really not different. I mean, obviously the type of door is different, but the construction isn't terribly different. Alright. Now, as I said, this was a 4-fold, or a quadrifold, whatever you like to call it. So, just make this 4 times. And this is actually very like how I make my double doors. I'd make one door and then just paste it on the other side. Mirrored, obviously, but you get the idea. And I mean, just because, and I only did that, gave it depth here, is just because the indentions do look nice at a glance. They really do. And even on the inside. And for modeling's sake, for the modeling's sake, like any door, I'll just center it. See where that little blue dot is? Even though a real garage door is actually tacked onto the inside, so then it can actually ride up. And you can see my cursor going back and forth, kind of imitating one of those tracks. But I don't do that, just for modeling purposes. And when you're looking at renderings of like a model and stuff, or drawings, that you don't see that. Sometimes, like in a plan drawing, like in AutoCAD, some builders would actually draw where the door will rise up to. Like this is a 7-foot door here. You will see the rectangle here in a dotted rectangle. And then you know, okay, this is the garage door when it's up. And I'll show you. Camera, parallel projection. And that's what you see, and this will be dotted line. Camera. And sometimes they won't do that. Either they'll just put triangles where the cars are supposed to be, or diagrams of cars. But just indicating that this is what it is for cars, which should be obvious. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Color, when I get that in, I color the frame and I extrude it to my usual 0.75. You might just have 0.5. It's up to you. Now, something about the garage, something you should actually have considered before putting any details in, is you go up to what I always do, and what you would do, especially if you're beginners. Go up to Get Models at the top here, this little box, and what I usually do is I type in Google Sudan. And the reason why I say Google is because the Google components are of accurate size, very simple but accurate. And you can just do a test here to see how best if the car fits. If the car doesn't fit, then revision is needed. However, like I said, before you put details in and before you extrude the walls, it's what you're going to need to worry about. As a matter of fact, let me see here. And not only that, if the car could fit, but also there's got to be place for a pedestrian to walk around this car too. So, just make a copy here. I mean, and also they got to get out of their car, they got to walk. Now this is a 16-foot door, and I have seen 16-foot doors for two-car garage, so I know I'm okay there. And this is about a little more than 18 feet, right? It says an 18-foot, so that's a safe garage. Especially, I mean, if you go into model homes, and sometimes they tell you like dimensions of some of the rooms and stuff. Like, say a bedroom is 10 by 15 or something. They'll put it inside the middle of the room space. So, and sometimes you would also see like garages, you know, the size. So, I mean, you'll know what's safe if builders have done it. So then, as you can see here, so this is safe. And then also here, you can also put laundry here, and that's what we're going to do next. Let me see. Give me a minute. Alright. An inch or two away from the wall is sufficient. Place them a couple inches apart. Now, when at home I measured my washer and dryer. They're small. They're like just regular 2'3" by 2'3". That's what I measured. Sometimes 2'2", 2'2", but apparently I didn't do that right. Sorry about that. And like I said, you know, then color them, then extrude them. For the most part, especially small houses like this, if they have like laundry rooms and stuff, I just keep them simple. Just basically keep them as blocks, and I mean it works. It works just fine. You don't need to have fancy schmancy components, and that's what I try to emphasize in other videos. Stress in other videos. If you want smaller file size, use less resolution components. I'll make this kind of a glassy color. And what I do is this is how I make my glares. Go to edit. There. Now the only reason why I colored this is just because I didn't have any other textures like it, and I couldn't do the eyedropper tool without it. So yeah. Sometimes you have to substitute. Alright, there's that. Oh, and if you're wondering about that, just do that, and then I color it in later. When I do my final blackening, that will all blacken in, and it'll look pretty cool. And there's that. You can put a shelf above it too. A good 4 feet maybe above it, just so you can reach it. Let's see. This is where things go. About a foot out. Usually you use like a cork wood under it. And there we have a laundry station. And as you can already see, that this and the car can already fit, so that's good. I hate it when it does this. And I usually use this third color. When I go to colors, I usually go to this fourth one here. Makes for a good garage floor look. And then we paint the walls. And I usually just go for this brick and cladding gray color. And I mean, in realism, this gray color is very common, because sometimes, like in garages, you know, it's just drywall anyway. And it has that gray color. So yeah. And then now we have a laundry station. Now we're going to do our utility station. Our utility, so I'm going to have a furnace here and a water heater here. I always make it where my water heater is 1'6" diameter, so it's usually either more or less, but I keep it within ballpark range. And I mean, all it is a cylinder, and then I usually bring it up maybe 5 feet, like so. I mean, just an indicator that you know it's there, really. Like I said, nothing fancy. There are components you can download, obviously, but you know, I don't like to do that. Heaters don't need to be very big either. And again, this is really just to let you know that it's there. And give it a metal, sort of a metal color. Raise it up a few feet. Put an X. And I mean, when you look in plan view, it's a given. That's a given. I want to move this a little further from the wall here if I can. So you can already tell, I mean, just looking at it, that's the mechanical room. Now, I would usually actually make it where I'll put these things in before the doors. But that I didn't want to have to break the video. Just wanted to make it all in one video. And as you can see, I'm just decorating the sides. Because, you know, I was already doing doors, so might as well keep going with it. There you have a garage. And one last thing to note. In case your garage isn't wide enough, you know, long enough, you can easily elongate it. Easily. I mean, easily. So what you'll do is you'll take your house, make it parallel projection again. It's going to be your favorite tool, I guarantee it. And just you see this edge here? And also make sure, you know, if the eaves overhang, make sure you take into account, like, for example, you see this piece here, it goes in a little bit. Take that into account. And then, actually, you see how that was, this is the dotted rectangle. Don't do that. Make sure it's a solid rectangle. And then, use the move tool. Click on it. Alright, now what you're seeing here is, also you got to be careful. You see when I'm moving this in and out, you see, look above, look at the top of the screen. See that part of the roof moving? That's bad. You don't want that. So what you're going to do is you're going to move to the other side of the house, because apparently there's something you're not seeing. No, come on, man. There we go. This part, this could be your problem. Because, you know, if this wasn't there, what you could do is, you could take this and just elongate it. Okay, for make example that this isn't here. I'll use a better example. Okay. Say, for example, you wanted to elongate this. That will give you difficulty. Take your edge of the house and type in, say, 2 feet. I mean, this works beautifully for garages. It's just that one little piece there for this particular house. And because when I made the house at first, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't actually prepared to tell you that, which is my mistake. And I'm sorry, but at least you get it now, is where you see this part of the house actually moved. That's what you would do in most garages, because most garages bump out enough. Alright. And as you can see, when you take the roof off, this entire side moved. Now, however, you know, I mean, when you have a garage, you'd also want to include this wall here. But, I mean, this was just an example. But you see how everything was elongated? So, yeah, and that's what would happen. That's what would you do in a garage situation if it wasn't long enough. Alright, everybody? Well, that was all for now. Hope you liked it. If you did, please rate, comment, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, because there will also be a lot more to come. And if you liked what you saw here, you don't want to miss what's coming up. And we are really getting close to finishing this house. And I have a feeling it's really going to look nice. Alright, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Alright, bye-bye.